Everybody improves over time, or tries to at least. I realize I'm doing this pretty fast. So I try to lift up when I'm coming off the wheel. I try to lift up in the same spot every time, because no matter how well the wheel is manufactured, it just isn't possible to have the same consistency from one side all the way to the other side. So what I'm doing is lifting up at one spot so that each facet comes out the same, or hopefully so.
Your grinding wheel, what is it, diamonds or?
I don't have volumes. So this is going to end up somewhere around a 9mm Rhodolite Garnet. This is a piece that I picked up in Tanga, Tanzania this past year. So the faceting design that I'm using is, some people would refer to this as a standard round brilliant, and you probably have seen this in every gem book. So I just adjusted the angles that you'd use in a diamond to adjust it for a colored gemstone to make it kind of a simplified version. I have more complicated work that I've done, but I knew that other people might be touching the wheel today, so I used the KISS method, as my wife used to say. So anyway, there we are.
What's the grit of the wheel?
This particular grit is it's the guy that makes this particular lap calls it a 500, but in real terms, compared to all the other laps I own, it's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200. That's particles per square inch. So that's probably about 12 or 14 microns in size.
And are the particles diamond? Or what are the?
Yes, the diamond is actually, I'm going to spin this off, get the water off. So this is kind of a lap that's fussy. I have to actually keep the water off it when it's done because it might deteriorate fast. This is about a $450 to $500 lap, whereas this lap here was $18. This is going to last probably 25 or 30 stones and then it's gone. Now this lap's going to probably last me probably 2,000 or 3,000 gems.
Feels smooth. That's how fine the particles are.
Anybody else want to hold this? If you feel really risky. So I'm going to switch laps. This lap is strictly for polish. So this lap has to be impregnated with diamond. It's been used on, I don't know, 400 or 500 gems already, and I have maybe 7 or 8 of these in my shop. If I burn through all the diamond on one, I don't stop and refill it with diamond. I actually just swap out to another one. But for coming here, I had to wipe off all that wonderful diamond that was on there, and now I'm going to refill it. This is a specialized oil. It's hard to get off your gloves. So this is just denatured alcohol I'm using to wipe the oil off my fingers, because otherwise I can't grip my tool that I'm going to be working with. This is diamond powder. This is the same powder that's used all around the industry. Not just gem cutting, but if you were someone that worked on eyeglasses, you would use a powder just like this. So this is called charging a lap. I'm actually forcing the diamond to go into the lap. I know you were thinking I was just another pretty face, but I actually know how to do something, right? Oh, my best line of the day and you didn't get it. So the oil acts as a carrier for the diamond, and the diamond is actually placed into the top surface of the lap. This lap is mostly tin. And tin is a softer metal, and the diamond will embed into it. And in just a few minutes, we're going to see some magic. This is the do not touch category because this is hard to get off your clothes. So I'm going to switch back to the original angle of 41 degrees. Now, because we want this diamond to actually move the facet, I'm going to make contact first, and I can watch my meter down here. You want to come around and look? So I'm lowering the mass until it touches right about here. All right, now I'm touching, and you can actually maybe hear the squeal. Now I'm going to lower it 0.04 of a millimeter, and it's actually going to force the diamond into the facet before I finish it with roughly a 500 polish, and it's going to move the facet until it actually touches the girdle line. I'm going to make sure I have alignment first by just checking it. And we have alignment. Because sometimes you can manufacture one lap and then bring out another lap and they don't actually have the same line of facing where they make contact with the gem. So I'm going to turn this up to about 35 on the dial, which is around 900 RPM. I guess I should tell the guys in front of me that might get a little oil on them. Or is that too late to tell you? I'm going to turn this around, over this way here, and you can see that one facet has a near finish to it, and the rest of them don't. You can see as I rotate, you'll see the one that's done. So I'm going to turn the speed down so you guys don't have to wear any of that. So I'm going back to touch the original 16 facets that we did earlier, and I've touched up the ones that the other person worked on because it's hard to have the same consistent hand strength at the same time. So basically, this is technically a pre-polish step. I'm going to use the same lap and come back and polish. It's a technique that I developed in the past 5 years. You can feel this digging into the lap, and that grind that you hear is actually the diamond grinding against the gemstone and not the metal. It's literally riding on top of the metal. Kind of like you're middle of winter and you're hydroplaning on ice. It's that kind of a feel. I can talk and work as I go along, so if somebody has questions, I can fill in the blanks as we're going. Or not. I need a volunteer for the next step.
Can I do it?
Yes. So even when I use a cleaning cloth, I'm using the same cloth to touch the same spot over and over again with the same grit size, because you never want to mix a 600 grit with 1200 with 3000 to 14,000 or more. So now you can see there's a whole set of tier row of facets there that are now pretty close to being complete. I still think this is so cool. I can't believe I do this for a living. All right. Yeah. So I need a volunteer. It looks like we have one. I'm going to move it back to the angle that we're on so she can finish this. Sorry. Anyone have a loop?
Yeah.
I can borrow?
You want a loop? You are the savior.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
There's a race who can give you their loop fast.
Yeah. It's time for a tune-up.
Hey, videographers, you're really blocking everybody else from seeing. Yeah. It's supposed to be a demo for the crowd, for TV.
It's going on for 3 hours.
I understand. Yeah, but still yet. Imagine you're going to be here for 3 hours.
Right, so what we've done, thank you, I might need it again. So what we've done, we've taken a lap that's used for polishing. I overloaded it with diamonds so it would actually move the facet. So in moving the facet, it takes off the top layer that was created by a 500 grit. So now we have an area that's quasi-finished. So if we were doing commercial cutting for the industry and we were in Jaipur or in Bangkok, this would be a finished facet arrangement. And we would still do the bottom one, but the facets would be considered done because that's as far as they need to go, because for most commercial scenarios, it's just acceptable. But we're going to take it to the next level. Do you want a chair to sit on? Yes.
Thank you.
All right, it is. Well, we can't help that. So what you're going to do is come over here, move to my right, to your right, okay. And you're going to be looking at these little symbols right there. You're only going to be touching greens.
Yeah.
So this here releases this, and then you can spin it, okay? So you're going to hold this down, and you're going to hold the one that's marked number 1. So I'll start with number 1 for you. So you're going to slide your hand right in here, and you're going to use fairly firm pressure. So picture yourself pushing down about that hard, okay?
Okay.
Now, we're not going to turn the machine on very fast. It's actually going to go very slow. And what you're going to do is you're going to count to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lift up. And then just for the sake of thoroughness, we're going to check it. Release your hand. So if you can imagine, when we're working with this lap, it makes minuscule little rivulets on the top of the stone, literally leaving marks, the grooves. And what we're doing when we go back and forth in a slow motion method, we're actually wiping those grooves off and they're almost gone. We could take this to 200,000 grit, which is tiny. And at that level, you can't see it unless you have like a 10-power microscope, then you can barely see what's on there. But this is suitable for what we're doing. Okay, we're going to switch to the next facet. Push the lever down with your left hand. Squeeze the lever. Okay, and then with your eyes, you can look to the next one. Release the lever right there. Release. Release. And you can check and you can see it doesn't move, okay? Okay, then slide your hand back in here. And 8 swipes. Nice pressure. And go to the next one, because we know you did really well on that one. Lift the lever down and move to the next one. One hand here. Okay.
Go. Go.
Put your fingers underneath so you can put proper
Okay.
pressure on it. Yeah.
Start.
I think it might find it helpful to actually take one finger and let it rest right there on the gnarled part.
If you guys are interested in what, as well in what the gemstones look like before they're faceted, you can come look over here at the rough gemstones. And if you'd like to get a gem distractor business card in, they're for retailers only. One per store.
Okay, go to the next one. Push the lever down and move it.
See. Start again.
Start out here. Right about there.
Yeah.
Push the center and come back.
Oh, okay, I understand.
Consistent, standard pressure.
Consistent.
Feel that kind of grinding feel underneath it?
Yeah.
That's doing the polish. Okay, you're probably going to get it. Okay, let's switch to the next one.
Okay.
Don't wipe your
Oh,
hand.
sorry.
In your hand.
Okay. Sorry. I wiped it.
It's okay. What'll happen though, you'll spread that all over the machine without even knowing it.
I used to do this.